Hi, folks. Welcome to Art Yes, Texas Women's University Art Workshops. I'm Professor Sheli Petersen, and I teach graphic design and illustration here at TWU. I'm joining you today to give a lesson focused on graphic design that centers around the subject of climate change. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has ranked 2020 as the second hottest year on record for the planet. Moreover, NOAA points out that the negative impacts of climate change extend well beyond an increase in temperature, affecting things that we depend upon: water, energy, ecosystems, agriculture, human health. Therefore, it's important to point out that solutions to climate change must be found working together, both as individuals and as a society, to maintain a livable planet. These collective actions that include protecting basic human rights of access to clean air, water, healthy food are part of a larger initiative: social justice. In other words, working toward a fair and equitable society, which is an integral part of TWU's mission. Moreover, visual arts and visual media can poignantly galvanize people to establish and maintain social justice. And what's really exciting is that you, as a young visual communicator, can truly make a difference for the common good. In this graphic design lesson, you'll get a taste of what it's like to work on the college level using the design process. These are steps the professional graphic designer takes to collect, organize, and synthesize verbal and visual information to convey a very specific message for an intended audience. And here's a breakdown of the design process that you can follow. First, personal observation or inspiration. Next, research, which is collecting facts and visual references from reliable sources such as libraries, museums, or government websites. Next, brainstorm visual ideas and concept sketches, and then realize your visual ideas through digital techniques. And finally, apply your art and research facts to an awareness poster design, which prompts the viewer to a specific action. Step 1. Initially, my concept for this project was sparked by personal observation of an interesting rust-colored creature I saw in my side yard hovering around a flowering shrub. I didn't know what it was, so to identify it, I researched several field guides and videos which helped me figure out that it was a hummingbird clearwing moth. And here's some cool facts that I learned about this critter. It mimics hummingbirds, not only in the way they look and move, but like hummingbirds, these moths are pollinators. Through the U.S. Forest Service website, a reliable source, I learned more about pollinators' crucial role in maintaining a healthy biodiversity of plant life and food production on our planet. Pollinators are needed for over 3/4 of the staple crops that feed humankind, as well as 80% of flowering plants on our planet. I discovered that there were diverse types of pollinators, including many types of wild bees, wasps, birds, bats, and even mammals such as this lemur from Madagascar and honey possum from Australia. As individuals and as a society, we can take strides to cultivate favorable ecosystems, such as urban community gardens and more environmentally sustainable agricultural processes, to attract pollinators and ultimately reduce our carbon footprint. Lastly, in my research, I collected visual references and studied videos to ensure accuracy and how I illustrated the hummingbird clearwing moth in my design. Once I had my information and visual references from reliable sources, I was ready to put my ideas together in concept sketches, step 3. I played around with various catchy headlines and then did quick thumbnails to explore various compositions for layouts. I decided to develop the bottom right sketch. In step 4, I realized my concept sketch through digital techniques. You can use Illustrator if you wish, but you can also use your preferred imaging software, drawing app, or even traditional techniques. Notice that I brought in my photographic references to ensure accuracy in how I drew the clearwing hummingbird moth. And to do so, I created vector art in Illustrator with layers using the pen tool and the width tool. Then, to create a sense of modeling and motion, I used gradients, transparency, and blur effects. For the background, I applied clipping path to insert a photograph that I took within a circular frame to give my artwork more of a dimensional quality. And then I applied type on a curved path with the type on a path tool. For the last step, I imported my Illustrator artwork into InDesign to set the type for my poster with an actionable prompt for the viewer to click and learn more about how to attract pollinators and reduce their carbon footprint. You can use InDesign or your preferred layout program, or even try hand lettering for your poster design. For your inspiration, here are examples of artists who advocate environmental sustainability. Artists for Countdown highlights 10 prominent artists who created public art on the topic of climate change. 516 Arts, a contemporary art museum, hosted a group exhibition featuring artists who were inspired by the theme of cross-pollination. Our lesson today gives a sense of how at TWU, art students engage in a balanced approach to research, developing ideas, and realizing those ideas through aesthetics and techniques. Skills our students will use every day in their career as visual communicators and artists. And most importantly, with an interdisciplinary approach, our program cultivates each of our art students' visual voice and vision, empowering them to make meaningful and positive contributions to our world. Our BFA offers 3 areas of focus: studio art, in which you can explore photography, 3D media, and/or drawing and painting; graphic design; and art education. A few of our classes where you can learn the process of graphic design and illustration to become a powerful visual communicator are Fundamentals of Type and Image, scientific illustration, and community-focused design studio. Other TWU advantages are individualized mentorship from faculty, freedom to explore multiple media, very community-oriented, and a commitment to supporting diversity and inclusivity. In conclusion, I'd like to say have fun creating your climate change awareness poster. I'm Professor Sheli Petersen. There's my contact information. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you. Happy creating. Bye-bye, and I look forward to seeing your work soon.